Hey, you're feeling caregiver frustration? It's okay. I know it doesn't feel very cool to admit it, but it's actually a very widespread emotion. So in this video, I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to give you some tools to manage it. A lot of caregivers, and maybe you too, are attached to the giving part of caregiving, and that's really good. And there's even something noble about that. But it can make it hard to deal with some of the emotions that come with. Frustration is one of them. Your loved one, whether parent, spouse, or child, has a loss of autonomy. They didn't do that to spite you, right? It's just there. And sometimes the limitations that this imposes on them can be very aggravating to you, whether you like that or not. In my community of support, your support within your reach, I hear a lot about that. So what can you do about it? Step one is to make a list of the things that frustrate you the most. This list will be helpful for you to identify which of these things you can do something about and which of them it's harder. Put list in the comments if you'd like some keys to help you use that list to lessen your frustration. Step two is to understand that resisting the frustration will not be helpful. It will require a lot of energy and it actually won't change anything. And you might know the saying, what you resist persists. This step is about letting go. It can be difficult, but you can start by acknowledging your feelings. You are having these feelings and they are legitimate. You didn't choose for this to happen, but it's limiting your freedom, and so you're having feelings. So maybe you're irritated or perhaps impatient or maybe frustrated. In your support within your reach, I create monthly meditations to help you with letting go. And so if you send me an email, I'll email you back and I'll gift you one of these meditations. Step three is to take some action. Now, there's different kinds of actions that can help, but not all of them will work for everyone. So I'll name a few, and please put a yes in the comments if you recognize one you're going to try so that I know this is useful for you. One thing you can do is to reframe the situation. So it's the disease, it's not your loved one. I'm not kidding. This has helped several of my clients. It just depersonalizes it. It's a little bit like when you wake up and it's foggy, you know? It's not personal. Another thing you can do is to take some time for yourself when you're feeling frustrated, a sort of time out. A lot of people take their frustration out on their loved ones or people who are nearby, sometimes even without realizing it. You've probably noticed that this is not helpful. A few minutes to yourself with a meditation or with some fresh air, that could help you. And you can take some time to think about your boundaries. Often we get frustrated when our boundaries are not respected. So what are you willing to do and what are you less willing to do? Step four is to get some emotional support with someone with who you can really share what you're going through. I see a lot of people who keep to themselves because they don't want to bother anyone, or else they feel that their experience is not legitimate. And so they just keep it inside and try to ignore it. All of that compounds the difficulty of the situation. If you'd like to know more about how I could support you through your caregiver experience, why don't you put support in the comments? In any case, it's important that you do something to mitigate your caregiver frustration. Otherwise, you're likely to meet another caregiver emotion that's also not spoken about very much, and that's caregiver discouragement, where your caregiver frustration turns into not really knowing what to do and wanting to give up. In the video that's on your screen right now, I'm going to talk about caregiver discouragement because it's important that somebody talk about it. So watch that video next, and I'll see you there.